I'm 95 years of age, born on the 6th of April, 6th of 1922 actually.
11347. I'm 70 on the outside and 18 on the inside.
When my brother, as I said, was professionally boxing, I became interested. The idea of learning to look after myself, put it that way. I wasn't interested in the competitive side of boxing or anything like that, but I was keen to learn as much as I could about it. I do. I still coach some boys in the garage. A few of the fellas that I trained at the police boys.
I love the water skiing because I can do it with my sons and their partners and my grandchildren. It's also great exercise, but it motivates me in order to keep doing it. Doing PT and gym gives me the strength and I retain some muscle, because as you get older they just all dissolve. When I was 16 I started, so I don't do a lot of the stupid things I used to when I was in my 20s, 30s and 40s, but I do what I'm capable of, so I know that I'm not going to give myself a serious injury with a bad fall.
I joined the police boys when I came to Bunbury in 1951, and I finished coaching there in 2011, 60 years as a volunteer.
That's phenomenal.
It was a long time, and recognised in quite a few nice ways. The club recognised by virtue of making part of their building the Bill Ivory Leisure Room, and they've got that up in big, I'm quite proud of that, of course, The main thing, you asked me what I have for breakfast, I think the main thing that I've ever done is do a regular exercise routine of a morning. And I've done that since I was in the army.
Wow.
And I've had to modify it. I mean, I have trouble getting around walking now, so the type of exercise that I do now are simple things, but I still get to the muscle groups that I want to get to in a very modified form, But I do that still as a regular thing. And that's like having my breakfast. Whatever I'm eating for breakfast, I don't feel that is doing me as good as what the regular exercise is doing for me.
I think exercise of the body, first of all, to get the natural endorphins going, it actually gets you motivated, you have more energy, and then you also need to keep your mind active. You don't use it, you lose it.
I've always been someone that wants to keep busy at whatever you're doing, so I've played a lot of, apart from boxing, I've played a lot of sport in different things. I went to the local football club when I first got here as a fitness trainer, and finished up at 30 years of age starting to play football, because I was there doing the thing. They got the ball out, it went closer to the start of the season, and I joined in and finished up playing, and I was captain of the reserves. Mind you, they were looking for players, so that's how I finished up being the captain in the reserves for a couple of years. So I started playing footy when most footballers are thinking about giving it away.
Well, apart from playing on my computer and creating Excel sheets, I read a lot. I don't watch a lot of rubbish on TV. I usually only watch things that I think are going to broaden my knowledge and that are mentally stimulating.
I play cards at senior sets, and only in the last few weeks I went to the Australian one. I had been going to the Eden senior sets. I went to the Australian one with the idea of joining in any card games or fun games that they may do. And there was no one there that was playing cards or anything. But one lady said, "Bill, I'll play rummaging with you," which is a game that I had played a few years ago. And I said, "Okay." And we sat down, and then I introduced a game of cards to her.
Grandchildren keep you young, and that doesn't include just watching TV with them. If you get out in the park and play with them, you're doing exercise and you're reacting and joining in what the children love to do and take an interest in them.
Yes, yeah, it's 25 years actually, that, and that came about with, I'm talking about Eden Probus now, that came about because I was a member of South Bunbury Probus when we lived in South Bunbury, and I was a member there for quite a few years, and they talked about giving me a life membership there, and I said I didn't deserve it. I hadn't been there long enough, but I was contributing with little articles and what have you about reflexology. The social side of it. I mean, they don't undergo any projects like Rotary and Lions and those sort of other clubs do. But the social side of it, their main thing, I would say, is the quality of the guest speaker. And usually they have a good guest speaker. And they do trips, and probably the thing that appealed to me most was the fact that if you want to do nothing, you can do nothing, and still be a member and enjoy the company of other people. So you're not compelled really to do anything. Even if you don't turn up, you don't have to apologise, but most people, if they'll do the right thing, and they will apologise. But I think the whole idea of Probus is good because it gives a lot of people an outing that they obviously look forward to because they turn up with enthusiasm, and just the mixing, and like most things, of course, they have morning tea and different outings. They'll go to lunch after a meeting or something like that, So it's the socialising part of Probus that is the main attraction, So it's been probably as much a thing as anything that I've ever been involved in, It's been trying to help someone by volunteering whatever way I could to help, And I did that a little bit in the way of being an honorary parole and probation officer, a mentor at the high school, even helping in the aged care place, I did 3 years on that, and I was a couple of years as the parole and probation officer, and then of course the police board for 60 years. When I started training fellas with boxing and things like that, I thought, I'll give the reflexology a bit of a go, and it was quite surprising to me, the results I got out of that, really, really good, and things that surprised me as much as anything, So I went to the tech school and did that while I was here. I did a course in massage and a course in foot reflexology, and I've been doing that ever since, in the respect that friends, not for money, it's continued on. Even last week I had someone come and I was doing They were stiff in the shoulders and neck, actually. Probably because helping people makes me feel good. There's no doubt about that, you know. And the type of thing that gives me a kick, if you could call it that way, is seeing some spectacular result of what I've done, you know.
I did when I was living in small country towns, as we did. At the moment I'm not, but when I'm decided I'm not going to work any longer, then yes, most definitely. I think working with children, but also those people older than me, just to try and help keep them motivated, because that's what they lose contact with anyone that gives them self-motivation. I started doing FIFO about 15 years ago. I was actually working in a corporate office, running the whole payroll for 15 sites across Australia, and we had big issues at site, one of the sites with payroll, so I went up for 1-2 days to fix the issue, and once I got there they wouldn't let me go. So at that stage I was doing 10 and 4 because I was the only person. The payroll was weekly, so I had to ensure that that happened, and then I just went from site to site, and then I was doing 15-6. Sometimes I did 39 days on and 4 days off, and I did that until after I was 69.
I think they've already introduced that, the interaction between the kids and senior people, you know, and that's pretty important, I reckon, because if from both sides, if the seniors can interest little kids with whatever their conversation or activities are, that's got to be a good thing, you know, because then the kids start to look to the people to guide them, if that's the right term. Yeah? And that interaction that they have is probably the best thing that I reckon can help.
Just stay connected.
Yeah. Stay connected. That's it.
I think for a lot of people that aren't in a particularly good place, the children really don't want to spend a great deal of time with them because they're not company, they're not good company, they're not interesting. And I think you can be very interesting to children having lived your life, but you've got to do it yourself, and then you'll find automatically people will want to come and be with you. So they need to self-motivate and read more. Have things that they can have conversations with people about, younger people. Because I find a lot of younger people actually find it interesting to talk to someone older, so long as they're engaging. If you've got a sour face, they won't want to be with you.
I think mental follows health general in the sense that it's not just mental, you know, it's a combination of both. I feel that if you're well in the body, your mind will be well too.
That's true.
I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
Because I think the main things you worry about are what you have wrong physically. You know? The main things. There's other things, of course, that come up and you worry about that. I was worrying all week about what Sandra would be like.
Oh, it's horrible. But it's inevitable, so you have to do the best you can and make the most of it. Stay fit, in mind and body.
I've had people say to me, you know, about what do you contribute to your long life and, you know, being as good as you are. And I think moderation is probably part of it.
Yeah.
I wish I really knew the answer, but I don't. But I feel the regular exercise bit is probably the main contributor to living well.